Hey, this is Todd Edwards. I'm at Point Blank, Los Angeles, and this is Masterclass. Now, that's the before and the after. So. That is legitimately what it sounded like on the original. When I was probably your ages, I had a manager who didn't have a lot of connections. So basically I wanted to make a vocal album. So I wrote all these songs, but I didn't have any vocalists. So I decided to sing them all myself. And I wasn't that crazy about my voice, so I auto-tuned the hell out of myself. I wanted to write a song for Bjork. So I basically bought a helium tank and some balloons and sucked the helium while I was doing that. So that's my Bjork impersonation. So when I first started, because I had a sampler that only had like 30 seconds, if that, it would take 2 to 3 weeks to do a track because I was literally going through the records, and as I'm going through them, I'll use that and I'll put that in the track, see if it works. It doesn't work, then that was it. So it was so tedious. Once I got to a point where I had a sampler that had a lot of memory, I started building sample banks. So, I would get these records, go through them. I look for certain syllables. I look for certain textures in the voice, certain chord progressions. I love minor chords. And the more sampling I did, the more I actually learned how to make music better, because you're honing in on the bass line in a funk track, or you're listening to the way Roy Ayers is playing keys, and all of a sudden you're like, it just starts to click. It was a learning process to make music as I was sampling, so I owed that to sampling. And I also went through a phase where I was getting sick of listening to dance music, and I started to listen to Irish folk. I was like, I liked Enya, and she used her vocals as instruments, and I was like, that's amazing. Instead of using contemporary instruments, what if I start using vocal cut-ups and make those the musical instruments within the track? So that's Far Away, and this was one of the ones that was like kind of excruciating, because each of these tracks represents a sample, and each of these samples usually needed an effect or an EQ on them just to make them stand out. So this song had like over 100, I would say, samples in there. DJing it's an art form unto itself. You know what I mean? It's not like you just jump behind the decks, and even if you're great at beat matching and everything, it's like there's an art to moving the crowd. And it took a while, and I still feel like I'm a student of it, after all these years. My name is Todd Edwards. I had the honor of talking at Point Blank Music School about my album Odyssey and how I remastered it and all that went into putting it back out and EQing and remixing, and there was a lot that I just talked about that I can't remember at this point, but everyone seemed to have a good time, so I'm happy.